Hi everyone, it's Richard at altFINS. I want to review yesterday's trade in which we shorted MATIC in our portfolio ahead of some potentially risky events this week, which turned out to be the right move. As you can see in the Binance portfolio under the margin section, again, yesterday we sold short MATIC or Polygon against BUSD. It was about $1,000 position, and we're up about 7% today. And this was a trade that, among others, that I suggested yesterday as potential ways to hedge one's portfolio going into some events today and the rest of this week. And those events included the CPI, or Consumer Price Index, or inflation, in other words, released for the month of August. And indeed, if we look at the data, the year-over-year inflation in the US for the month of August was 8.3%, which is down from the prior month of 8.5%, so that's positive. However, the market anticipated even sharper decline of 8.1%. So inflation is easing, but not as quickly as the market expected. And as a result, the risk assets are down today. Bitcoin is down 5%, Ethereum is down 6%, and so on and so forth. More importantly, also, here's the chart of the inflation. Obviously, it ran up in the last year or so, and it's been sort of flattish to slightly down in the last 2 months, but still at a 40-year high at about 8% or 8.5%. And so the Fed continues to fight against the inflation by increasing interest rates, which is, of course, negative for risk assets like tech stocks and crypto as well. One of the other sort of core or important data that the market looks at is the core inflation rate, which excludes the volatile prices of energy and food. And that core inflation rate was at 6.3%, which was higher than the prior month and higher than expected. And so the market is selling off both in crypto and in stocks as well. And again, this is something that I hedged partially in my portfolio, and we suggested yesterday to our subscribers and hodlers that it is prudent to be cautious and hedge one's risk going into some of these macro events by potentially short selling coins that were already up against their resistance zone. So I suggest and recommend that you look at the video on how we identified which coins to short. One of them was MATIC, and there were about 3 or 4 others on that list, including NEAR, which is down 8%. So today we would have been up 8% in the plus if we had shorted it. And Algo was another one, I believe, that's down 6%. So by short selling some of these coins, I had hedged some of my portfolio risk going into this event. Hey guys, it's Richard at altFINS again with some ideas ahead of some large or important catalysts. So tomorrow and next couple of days, there are some big events that could really move the market, either bullish or bearish. Really hard to anticipate, and I'll show you how to think through that process and how to hedge your portfolio potentially by short selling some of the coins, and also which coins to pick for short selling. So real quick, what's happening tomorrow on September 13th, CPI, or Consumer Price Index data, will be released for the US for the month of August. And inflation data, as you have probably heard, unless you live under the rock, it's all about inflation these days from a macro perspective. Inflation is, as illustrated by the green line here, has really skyrocketed across the globe. Here in the US, it reached in June 9.1%, and then it pulled back to 8.5% annualized inflation in the month of July. Now, in the month of August, the expectation is that it will continue to go a bit lower as the energy costs have declined, and some food costs have also slightly declined month over month. So the anticipation that the inflation will ease up a bit to about 8.1%, which would be positive for crypto as well as stocks, technology stocks, and other risk assets. But we may not, and the consensus is that it will improve, that it will go down. But the data may surprise us, in which case there would be a pretty big sell-off. So there is some risk associated, even though my opinion, personal opinion, is that there is a higher probability of a decline in inflation than not. But maybe it won't decline as much as the consensus is expecting, and that could still be a disappointing piece of news. So that's one risk. The other one is that Ethereum merge, of course, a huge event that the market really ran up to in the last few days and even months, is happening this week. It's not certain which day, but most likely on September 14th and 15th or 15th. So that would be either Wednesday or Thursday. And everything is ready and should be fine, but you don't know if it indeed goes smoothly. It could be some hiccups, and again, there could be some some selling associated with that, even though long term we are very bullish about Ethereum and this merge, that it will attract institutional capital and so on, and should be very positive for the price of Ethereum and altcoins as well. But again, some risks in the near term horizon. And then next week, the FOMC, or basically the Fed, meets to decide on the interest rates. As you can see, they've really aggressively hiked it up from really 0 to now 2.5%, and the expectation is, as you can see these dots up here, that it will continue to raise interest rates. Now that's already priced into the market. If anything, I think that we could see some easing up from the Fed, which will be positive for the market. But again, especially this week with the CPI data coming out tomorrow and the Ethereum merge, there could be some volatility, and it could be some negative surprises as well, even though I think that the higher probability is of a positive outcome. And so in my portfolio, for what I have some exposure long, so I do own some altcoins, although most of the portfolio is still in cash. But I have some Avalanche, Kava, EOS, the trade that was placed just a few days ago, as illustrated to the subscribers and hodlers, Phantom, and Cosmos as well. And Ethereum, of course, is a largest position. And so I do have some exposure, right, to altcoins. And so I'm thinking, how do I hedge myself? One certainly, how do we hedge this exposure? One way certainly would be to sell my positions, but I like those positions. There was a reason why I got in. There were some technical, maybe some fundamental reasons why I got in. So I don't really want to sell those positions. I could trim some of those positions, certainly. That's advisable as well. Or I can look for some coins that perhaps are up against, bumping up against some resistance areas that may in fact sell off regardless of what the market does in the next few days, and could really sell off if there's some negative market news. So I could short sell those positions or those coins, so that when the market does sell off, I lose some money on the long positions on my buys, but I also gain money and make profit on the short positions. So basically I hedge my portfolio so that I own some and I also short sell some coins. And so which coins to pick for short selling? Well, it would certainly be coins that are close to their resistance area. And so on our curated charts, I think is a great starting point for finding such coins. In that, you can look at some of the sideways channel situations, like this one here. Algorand is bumping up against that 35-cent resistance zone. It's been trading in a 25 to 35 cents channel, and now it's at the high end or at the resistance trend line of that channel. And as you can see, it's unsuccessfully broken above that, and so it's really been trading in that channel for several months, and it's very likely to encounter some resistance at that 35-cent level. So that would be, I think, a good short selling situation here. It's at 32 cents, so very close to that 35-cent resistance zone. So that's one. Certainly, I believe that another potentially here, this one says approaching resistance. So that's Polygon or MATIC. Let's take a look at the curated chart here. This one is definitely approaching some very stiff resistance here at the dollar level. As you can see, it's been rejected at the dollar level 1, 2, 3 times in the last couple of months, really since July. And now it's also the $1 resistance zone. It's also lining up with the 200-day moving average, which also serves as a resistance area. So it's really stiff resistance area that again, at this time, MATIC is at 92 cents, so very close to that, less than 10% away from that resistance zone. So again, another candidate for short selling. Let's find another one. Let's see what's going on with Near Protocol. Where's the price relative to the resistance zone? It's right in the resistance zone right now. So another one that's been trading in the sideways channel between $3 and $5. Now it's at the high end of that channel at the resistance area. So I do think that's another potential rejection waiting to happen. Potentially it's right at $5. And you on and on, you can go down this list. Another one is Uniswap. Let's take a look. This one's the next resistance zone is 750. Also an area where it's gotten rejected in the past. And it's also a 200-day moving average. Now, the price may not be as close to that resistance zone just yet. It's at 670, so perhaps not not quite ripe for that shorting. And then XEM or NEM, let's take a look. Yep, that's also another one that's been trading more or less in a sideways channel, and it's up against that 5-cent resistance zone right now as we speak. Could get rejected there as well, and could pull back sharply if we have some negative surprises in the CPI data tomorrow. So there's a number of these. And how do you short them? Well, you can find an educational video about how to short in our education section. I recommend you check out that lesson. There's a whole lesson on that under the trading course. I believe it's the last lesson number 10, which demonstrates and illustrates how to actually use margin account trading and short selling on Binance, in fact. So if you are a subscriber or a hodler, you can take advantage of this lesson to learn how to margin trade on margin and short sell. If you go to the Binance as an example, you can short on other exchanges as well. Let's say we want to short XCM. Let's pick another one because I don't have actually USDT on Binance. So let's pick another one on the list. I believe was Algo, right? So then I would select Algo and BUSD. Okay, well, this can happen sometimes as well. They cannot lend Algo to you, in which case you can't short it. Let's see, another one that we mentioned was MATIC. MATIC, here you go. MATIC BUSD. Well, as we said, it's approaching that dollar level, which is a resistance zone. Now to short it, first you have to select isolated margin, because we are basically going to borrow MATIC and then sell it in the market. So we're gonna first fund the isolated margin account with my BUSD. Confirm. And now I can sell, let's see how much. I'd like to sell about $1,000 worth. So BUSD, that's a little too much. Okay. So I want to margin sell 1,000 MATIC, which is about $928 US dollars worth of MATIC that I'm going to go short. Now you have to realize that there is some interest that you will be incurring. So when you borrow, essentially for margin trading or short selling, therefore these short selling positions shouldn't be on for a very long time, you know, for a few days max, because there is some interest that you're incurring. So now we are short MATIC. And here we go. There's our position. We are short MATIC. Okay. And let's see how it goes. So, you know, if you do several of these short positions, then you are basically leveraging some of your long positions that you may have in the portfolio. Now, I wouldn't recommend just going short. Of course, you could. If you're a skilled and an advanced trader, you could just short coins without having any long positions, but I'm doing it really to kind of hedge some of my risk in the long positions that I have. I'm not betting that the market will go down. I'm simply hedging some of the risk. Overall, I have a bullish view on the market in the near term, but I want to take some risks off the table, and I do that by finding coins that are close or at their resistance zone area. And we'll see how this plays out tomorrow after the CPI data comes out. All right, everyone, I hope this helps you, your trading. If you have any questions, please email us at invest@altfins.com.